Hello all, welcome to LTX classes. In this series, we are going to explain the prelims oriented articles that are covered in the Hindu in very detailed manner and in examination oriented pattern. Clear? So this is the Hindu analysis prelims oriented session. Clear? The date being 18/8/2022 and the articles are going to be dealt by Srinivas. Clear? Check our current affairs based MCQ. Consider the following statements. Clear? Consider the following statements. See the first statement. Talake Hassan is nullified under Saira Bano case. Clear? Saira Bano case. In Islam, females does not have any procedures to revoke marriage. Clear? To revoke marriage. So choose the correct option. A, only one. B, only two. C, both. D, none. Clear? So I think you got the answer. See, Talake Hassan is nullified. No, this is not nullified under Saira Bano case. Then what is nullified? The nullified part is Talak e Bidat. Talak e Bidat is instant triple talak. Clear? In yesterday's class I have discussed this instant triple talak, right? In Saira Bano case, Talak e Bidat was nullified. Talak e Hassan is still in practice. And next, in Islam, females does not have any procedure. No. Answer is no. They have the specific procedure that is called khula, right? That is called khula, that we discussed what is the meaning of khula in yesterday's class, right? So we have covered this answer and let's move on to the static question. Look for our static MCQ. Clear? Yes. See, consider the following statements. Check the statements. CBI is a statutory body. And next, CBI requires consent of states before any investigation that happens in their respective states. Clear? So here CBI is a statutory body and CBI requires consent of the states before any investigation that happens in their respective states. Clear? So then here also choose the correct option. Only one, only two, both, none. Clear? So these are the question. So far we have discussed the current affairs answer and the static answer being CBI is a statutory body. No, CBI is not a statutory body. Then what is a statutory body? A statutory body is what? Which takes its form from an act. If any body takes its origin from the act, it is called the statutory body. For example, take National Green Tribunal. NGT was formed under NGT Act. Clear? So that is the reason NGT is called a statutory body. But here CBI was not formed under any of the acts. It is formed under the executive resolution. Means how Niti Aayog was formed? Niti Aayog was simply formed because of executive resolution, right? Because of executive resolution, Niti Aayog was started. In the same way, CBI was also started to solve the issues. Clear? Yes. And next, CBI requires consent of the states. No, CBI does not require consent of the state in all respectives. For example, if any case is allocated to CBI by the courts, if any case is allocated by the CBI, by the courts to the CBI, or exempted from taking the consent of the states. But if central government allocates any case to CBI, then consent of the states is required. Then only they can do their service in that state. Otherwise, they cannot go for investigation of new cases. But if the same case is given to the CBI by the courts, then consent of the state is not required. Clear? I think I made some sense here, right? So let's discuss today's articles in detailed manner. Check our articles to be explored. Today in our class we are going to deal center raises threshold for prosecution under Customs Act, and center restores farm loan interest subsidy as rates rise. Clear? And next, India-China troops to take part in Russia war games. Clear? You are going to learn what is this Russia war games and everything. And next, center projects record production of rice. Clear? In rice we have seen record production. And next, Delhi's PM 2.5 levels worst in the world. So here today we are going to deal all these articles which are very relevant from UPSC by taking how the articles have to be learned in prelims oriented perspectives. Clear? So these are the articles we want to discuss. Let's have the focus. Coming to our first article, it is center raises thresholds for prosecution under Customs Act. The article is very important from GS3 economy perspective. From GS3 economy perspective, the article is very important. Then let's take this. See, actually for every act there would be certain criteria to be called as an offense. Clear? In the same way, under Customs Act you have to pay customs duties, that you are allowed to import certain products. When you are importing any of the products, you have to pay the amount. Clear? So see here it is gold bars and cash, right? When you are importing or when you are taking the gold in your bags and you are generally doing the smuggling activity, then you are going to caught under Customs Act. Why? Because as you are not paying customs duty and you are bringing that gold illegally into India, so for the same you are going to be put under bars. So here under Customs Act there are some criteria which was mentioned by the center. The same central government has recently, yesterday, raised the threshold limits for both prosecution, arrest and regarding bails. Clear? And they have changed certain rules under Customs Act. That is, see, for smuggling and for illegal imports, the threshold limits was increased from 20 lakhs to 50 lakhs. Clear? So from 20 lakhs to 50 lakhs it got enhanced. Clear? And in the same way, if the person is getting involved in any of the commercial frauds, any of the commercial fraud, to call some fraud as commercial fraud, it should involve more than 2 crores. Clear? And this threshold limit was increased from 1 crore to be called something as commercial fraud. The amount it needs to be indulged from 1 crore to 2 crores. So any amount crossing 2 crores, then only it is called as a commercial fraud. And if you are illegally importing, smuggling the products worth more than 50 lakhs, then only it should be called as the illegal smuggling under customs rules. Clear? So these are the threshold limits that central government has changed. Then who will look after this? There is one body that is called CBIC. Clear? What is this CBIC? CBIC means Central Board of Indirect Taxes. Central Board for Indirect Taxes and Customs. So all the customs related things would be seen by this CBIC. Clear? Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs means this body looks after both indirect tax issues and customs related issues. Clear? So these indirect taxes are dealt by CBIC. Then who will look after the issues of direct taxes? So for that there is other body that is called CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. Direct taxes would be looked after by one body and indirect taxes are looked after by another body. Clear? So indirect taxes are nothing but this GST, all these are indirect taxes. Direct taxes are nothing but income tax, corporate tax, these are direct taxes. And indirect taxes are duties, customs duties or some other duties, and GST, all these comes under indirect tax. Clear? So for indirect taxes and customs, CBIC body looks after that. And CBIC released 2 circulars regarding the increase in threshold limits. So clear? But you have to remember one thing, the threshold values are re-evaluated. All these re-evaluated ones are not going to apply if you are transferring fake currency, if you are transferring arms, ammunitions, explosives, antiques, art treasures, wildlife items. Clear? So just listen this. See, if something needs to be called as commercial fraud, it should cross 2 crores. But what if you are taking fake currency worth 10 lakhs? Still it is to be called as a offense. Clear? Still it is to be called as an offense. It does not have any criteria. Clear? And for antiques, antique is something which is very ancient and which holds greater significance regarding cultural heritage. Those pieces are called antiques. And when you are importing or exporting any wildlife items, these need not to be covered under these rules. Why? Because if you take wild items, let's take the nails of a lion or any of the bone products of one horn rhinoceros or so, these are very precious to preserve biodiversity. When you are preserving the biodiversity, you should not look after all these things on basis of economical threshold. Clear? So all the other smuggling and illegal imports like gold, cash or something, these needs to be covered. Clear? Yes. So that is the reason that why we have taken this, and there are huge chances that UPSC might use these threshold limits to make us very tricky. Clear? And who will looks after this? CBIC looks after this. Then the CBIC comes under which ministry? That is fine. CBIC comes under Ministry of Finance. In Ministry of Finance, what is the department? That is Department of revenue. In Department of Revenue, we have CBIC. CBIC generally reports everything to Department of Revenue in Ministry of Finance. Clear? I think I made this whole article very clear, right? So please remember this information. This is more than sufficient for to tackle prelims based MCQs. Clear? Yes. So check our next article, that is Center restores farm loan interest subsidy as rates rise. Clear? Yes. So here you can observe that there is something, and this article is very important from GS3 economy. Clear? So in GS3 economy we have the agriculture part. In economy we have separate agriculture part. Then here what the article is about. The article here is telling actually to benefit the farmers, banks provide credit to the farmers on the lines of government. Means government insists banks to provide credit to farmers. As in India, farmers are very poor. They sometimes feel very difficulty for their inputs, like to purchase pesticides or to purchase any mechanized products like tractors, so and so. Farmers would feel very difficulty. If the same are provided at much lesser price, farmers can able to pay it back. Clear? So to benefit the farmers, central governments and state governments asks bank to provide credit. So if bank provides its credit, then it is going to charge some interest. So what interest might be somewhere around 12 to 15%. Actually see, interests are calculated on the basis of risk. So banks actually take the greater risk on farmers because the surety that farmers going to pay back the amount to the bank is very negligible. So when risk is high, interest rates also may shoot up. Clear? So for example, farmers might require 2 lakhs to purchase one tractor. Just think, they might require 2 lakhs, but an industrialist, he might require 2 crore. See, for 2 lakhs that which farmer is asking, banks may charge 18% interest rate. But for this 2 crores which is asked by industrialist, and as banks take, industrialists are persons, they are very less risky in nature, they are going to charge somewhere around 8 to 9%, which means literally half of the interest rate that is they are charging on the farmers. But see, these farmers are very vulnerable, they require lot of amount for the farms. So what government do? Government want to maintain this 18% at 7%. To maintain this 18% at 7%, government is providing 11% interest rate on behalf of farmers to the banks, so that banks will charge only 7% from the farmers. This is called the interest subsidy. This is called the interest subsidy. What is interest subsidy? The 11% which central government is paying on behalf of farmers to the banks, as banks giving credit to the farmers. Clear? This is called interest subsidy. The interest subsidy might provide the required impetus from the farmers to put more money on agricultural mechanization or to increase the agricultural fields to get benefit the overall farmers. Clear? So this is the reason. So actually this interest subsidy is given to the farmers who are taking short term loans. Short term. So then what is a short term loan? A short term loan is a loan which needs to be covered before 12 months. Clear? So less than 1 year are to be covered under short term loans. So for short term loans, government is providing interest subsidy. Clear? So see, recently government has withdrawn its subsidy policy as there is no requirement. Why? Because banks are already providing farmers at the price of 7% interest rate. So there is no requirement from the central government part to subsidize the interest rate. So government has withdrawn that, and recently when RBI raised the monetary policy committee, when RBI raised the repo rates, banks started charging 8.5 percentage. Clear? Banks started charging 8.5 percentage. Then again central government has come and they said we are going to cover 1.5 percentage. Why? Because our limit is 7 percentage. 7 percentage. Clear? So these are the things, and you can know there are very few states like Andhra Pradesh where they are providing the interest rate at 0 percentage. So sir, interest rate at 0% is lost to the bank. No, it is not lost to the bank. Here the meaning is, let's take Andhra Pradesh is going to have the scheme of 0% interest rate to the farmers, which means all the remaining 7% interest rate is going to be borne by the state government. Clear? So this is the issue, and government is telling in budget we have provided additional budget of 34,856 crores. Are you getting? Here the amount has come 34,856 crores from 2022 to 23 to 24 to 25. For the next 1 year we are going to provide 34,000 crores so that farmers who are taking loans up to 3 lakhs less than 1 year, all their interest rates of that more than 1.5 percentage, that 1.5 percentage amount is to be borne by the central government only, so that farmers credit won't get any effect. Clear? So farmers needs to be provided credit, because as they are from very vulnerable and poor background sources, they might feel very difficulty in getting the interest at much lower prices. Clear? So this is the article that we want to discuss, and this is very important from prelims perspective. Means you should know what is a short term loan, you should know what is the meaning of interest subsidy, and should also know and during which and what times the central government actually catches up the farmers. Clear? So this is the article, and let's have the next article. Then see our next article. It is, this article is very important from GS to international relations perspective. Clear? So see, India, China troops to take part in Russian war games in Vostok. Clear? Vostok is a region in Russia where war games are to be conducted. Then first of all, what are these war games? War games are nothing but military drills that countries which are having good friendly relations generally take part in other nations. So here Russia is going to start the war games, and some sources says in this India is going to participate, China is going to participate, Belarus is going to participate, Tajikistan and Mongolian and other countries will also participate. Then there are very news coverages which says that these drills, which include the airborne troops. Clear? So airborne troops, the bombers and the military cargo aircrafts will take part in these war games, and they'll show their strength and stamina to the world that they can go for wars at any time. Clear? Here it is like symbolically they are representing their army, they are showing the mighty strength of their army to the other nations. Clear? So here China and India might take part in this Russia, but no information has come clearly that both are going to take at one place. Why? Because Russia have chosen many spots. Russia has chosen many spots to conduct these war games. It is not clear at the very same spot India and China are going to participate. India can link up with Russia, with any other nation also. Clear? India can link up with Russia at any other nation also. Clear? So here there are 13 different training grounds that Russia has taken. It might take it any place. Fine. So it is going to occur from August 30 to September 5 in 13 training grounds in Russian Eastern Military District. Clear? Here airborne troops, long range bombers and military cargo aircrafts would participate, and Russian defense minister is going to observe all these things, and Russian president will take the charge and will lead the occasion. Clear? So these are very important to improve the country cross country relations. Clear? As of now, countries helps, these war games actually helps in getting the current international and regional situations intact, and these countries might participate and they can deepen the pragmatic and the friendly cooperation. Sir, what is that? That is the pragmatic relation. The pragmatic means the necessary relations. Very important relations are called pragmatic relations, and these militaries of participating countries enhances the levels of strategic coordination. For example, if India, Russia and Belarus takes part, these three countries helps in deepening the relation among these three countries, the friendly cooperation, and these militaries participate, and the strategic coordination means India get acquainted the knowledge of military equipment of both Russia and Belarus, and at the same time Belarus will also get the knowledge of equipment of Russia and India that holds. Clear? So to improve the strategic coordination of all the participating countries, these war games are very important. Clear? So this actually shows the world their ability to deal the various security threats. So this is very important occasion because, and we know that Russia on one side is attacking the Ukraine, Russia is on one side, it is in war situation, and on the other side it is going to start the war games with its friends. It shows Russia is not caring about what is happening in the Ukraine. It just want to have the normal relations with other nation except Ukraine. Clear? This is one part, and the other part we have to understand. 2 years back in 2020, at line of actual control, India-China clash was taken place. Clear? So but still now, and no concrete and measures have been done in that place, and still in the area of hot springs, Damchok at Dapsang regions of line of actual control in the Ladakh region, no concrete measures were done, and Chinese troops are still lying at this place. During this crisis situation, it is not clear whether India is going to participate along with China or it is choosing the other different grounds. There are actually 13 grounds are there. In among these 13 grounds, India might take the other ground which China is actually taking, and the article is saying we have to wait and watch how India is going to respond. But these war games are very strategic at international stage and scenario. Clear? I think I have made some sense in this article. These articles are very important. Clear? Yes. Then look at our next article. See, this is our next important article, that is Center projects record production of rice. This article is very important from GS3 economy part. Clear? In GS3 economy part, this is very important. Clear? Yes. See, central government is observing an estimates of fourth estimate which it is expecting the major agricultural crops in 2021 and 2022 are going to see an increase in greater production. government is expecting the total production of food grains in the country is going to be at all-time high of 315.72 million tons. This data is regarding the total production of food grains. The total production of food grains is 315 million tons. 315 million tons, which is higher by 5 million tons from the earlier year. Clear? From 2020 to 21, 21 to 22 figures are 5 million tons more in total agricultural production. Clear? Yes. In that, government is expecting that this is more than the average of last 5 years. Government sees record production in rice, maize, of course grams and pulses, wheat, rapeseed, mustard, oil seeds and sugar cane. Clear? So these are the crops that government is expecting a greater production. Clear? This is the report from Union Ministry of Agriculture. In that it says the overall rice production is going to be 130.3 million tons. Rice, it is 130.3 million tons, and wheat production it is going to see 106.8 million tons. Clear? And the most one, out of total food grains production, it takes rice which leads the thing. You might confuse. See, when you compare overall rice production with wheat production, it is the rice production which is more than the wheat production. Clear? The wheat production is at second place after rice. Though the wheat is consumed by n number of people, rice takes the lead as much of the rice is going to be exported to outside nations. Clear? So that's why it is saying both the averages of earlier 5 years are going to be crossed this year by both rice and wheat. Clear? And so you have to know what is the importance of this increase in production. This increase in production might improve the chances of greater exports. Clear? This increases the chances of greater exports. When exports happen, it would bring lot of foreign exchange to India, and this greater production might help in bringing down the domestic prices. As you have seen, the inflation is increasing in the nation. The retail inflation is increasing, which means the general prices of products are increasing. When the greater production increases, when production increases, the availability of product will increase. So automatically price may take downturn. If price takes downturn, it is very happy for the normal people. So retail inflation would come down and purchasing power of individual will also increase. Then what is this purchasing power? The availability of amount that an individual can spend. For example, see, if person's income is 10,000, if price of rice is 50 rupees, he might be spending some amount on rice. If the rice cost has come to 40 rupees, and in the same way his salary will remain 10,000, then still his purchasing power generally increases when compared to 50 rupees of rice, right? So purchasing power of individual increases, exports increases, prices in the market comes down, so that it might also take other position, like the same rice can be stored in godowns and can be provided at PDS, means ration shops, at very low prices for the consumers. Clear? For the poor people. So this increased production might bring greater income to the farmers. Clear? This increased production might bring greater income to the farmers. These are various benefits to the farmers, to the economy, to most of the general consumers also. Clear? Yes, the article is very important in this perspective, both in prelims. Why? Because in prelims UPSC might ask the questions regarding the consequences. Clear? And I made clear of these things, right? But here when you observe the things, UPSC might also ask prelims oriented things on the total production of food grains, on rice, on wheat, and on the other remaining product also. When you are going to arrange these things in an ordered wise, rice takes the lead, wheat takes the second position, and after that we observe the things like coarse cereals. Clear? Coarse cereals, these three take the 1, 2, 3 positions. So clear? Yes. So this is very important article, and I have covered in detail in both prelims perspective, and the same knowledge can be used in your mains answers also. Clear? Yes. Then we are going to have our next article. Coming to our next article, it is Delhi's PM 2.5 levels worst in the world. So the present article is very important from GS3. GS3, this is from environment. Clear? GS3 environment. So first of all, you should know what is PM 2.5. PM 2.5 means, that is particulate matter. Clear? Particulate matter. A particulate matter is such thing which could be of from any particles. The particles can be carbon dioxide, the particles can be nitrous oxide, the particles can be any of the compounds, and the particles can be a mixture or the synthesis of any other beings. Clear? So particulate matter 2.5. Here 2.5 suggests the size could be of micrometers. Clear? 2.5 means 2.5 micrometers. So if something is PM10, which means the size of that particulate matter is 10 micrometers. So generally if you consider the hair follicle is more than 10 micrometers, but when you see PM 2.5, it is much smaller than the hair follicle itself. So you cannot stop the entrance of PM 2.5 unless you are equipped with some special mask which stops the PM 2.5 in particular. So that is the greatness of PM 2.5. So it is very dangerous than PM 10. So when you compare particulate matter 10 with PM 2.5, PM 2.5 is more dangerous because PM 2.5 can easily enter into our lungs. Clear? Our lungs can be easily damaged by this PM 2.5. So the article has come and it is saying that the air quality and health in cities, there is one US based health effects institute that report air quality and health in cities, that is US organization. It has checked for 7,000 cities. It has checked for 7,000 cities. It has checked the effects of both PM 2.5 and NOx or NO2, nitrogen dioxide. So PM 2.5 levels are highest in the world in Delhi. Delhi leads the position. Delhi is the most polluted, or in the levels of 2.5 it is the worst in the world. Among the 7,000 that cities, Delhi is the worst city. Clear? So both these are very harmful pollutants, both PM 2.5 and nitrogen. So then sir, what are the sources of this PM 2.5 and NO2? The sources being the vehicles or the emissions from the old vehicles. Clear? The emissions from the old vehicles or the emissions from the normal petroleum based vehicles, emissions from the power sector companies, emission from the normal ordinary companies and household when you use coal for household cooking purposes. All these things come under the part of PM 2.5 and PM 10. Clear? So see, actually WHO have come with few recommendations, but Indian style or in India the PM 2.5 levels are much more. In Delhi it is PM 2.5 level is 110 microgram per meter cube, but in Kolkata it is 84. Clear? It is 84 microgram per meter cube. Clear? So these are in the same way. Not only this PM 2.5 levels, regarding in NO2 levels, India is not doing very great, which means NO2 levels are much lesser than most of the developed nations. Clear? When you take any other developed nation, the NO2 emissions from those countries are much greater and much more than India. At least it holds 2 to 3 times. Clear? When you take Chinese capital Shanghai or in Beijing and in Shanghai, the NO2 levels are 41 micrograms per meter cube, but in Delhi it is only 20 microgram per meter cube. Means it is literally the double the role of NO2 in Shanghai and Beijing. Clear? So the articles are very important as they have covered most of the important data that needs to be put in our both prelims and mains part. Clear? So, and see, the report is also saying that while we compare from 2019, nearly more than 7,000 cities which were analyzed, the parts of NO2 are greater than the WHO guidelines, which means that, see, WHO regarding NO2, it asked to maintain 10 microgram per meter cube, but in the 7,000 cities, nearly 86% of cities missed the targets that WHO were provided. Please clear? So these are the statements that you have to remember. This is the data that you have to remember. Clear? We shall deal few MCQ based questions also. Clear? Yes. Now check our today's current affairs based MCQ. Clear? Current affairs based MCQ. So the question being, consider the following statements. Consider the following statements. First statement, PM 2.5 is much harmful than PM 10. Clear? And next, India holds the most NOx and PM 2.5 pollutants cities in the world. Clear? So India holds the most NOx and PM 2.5 pollutant cities in the world. NOx means nitrogen oxide and PM 2.5 means particulate matter 2.5, and we have discussed this in the article, right? So this is the two statements, and here see, options are only one, only two, both, and D, none. Clear? So I encourage everyone to participate in these questions, and I just wish everyone to answer these questions. Clear? Yes. Good luck and try this question. So now we have to go for the static based MCQ. Clear? Static based MCQ. Look at this. Consider the following statements. Consider the following statements and look after these statements. First statements being state government cannot issue G-Secs. G-Secs means government securities. G-Secs means government securities. Clear? Yes, government securities. So here this article or this static question is from economy. Clear? In economy part you might have read related to what is the meaning of G-Sec or government security. State government cannot issue G-Secs. And second statement, see, state government cannot borrow money directly from foreign governments. So here you can choose only one, B, only two, C, both, and D, none. So I wish and encourage everyone to do participate in this question and try to post the answer, and the same explanation would be given in tomorrow's answer. So stay tuned with our videos.